Hi, this is Brown Bear and I've had him for 12 years. And the reason I would like to celebrate him is because he's been with me all my life and he has just kept me really happy. And whenever I've been upset, I've just called him Brown Bear. He's made me really happy and I'd like to celebrate him because he is my favourite teddy bear in the whole wide world.
This is the place where we meet and share stories, like a safe space hidden from the world. This is the place where every object tells a story, like a moment captured in time.
In 2010, I came to do my master's and then I proceeded to do my PhD in engineering. So my parents are obviously not here, but it so happened that I had father figures and mother figures around, and one of those people are my vicar, who sadly passed away. And every time he travels, he will get something for me, So these were one of his last gifts to me before he passed away. And because a lot of children come to my house, they managed to pick two, so I just have one left. So I decided to hide. And they keep saying I'm mean because I haven't let them take 3 of them, so there were actually 3. So there's love and joy and happiness. So they took the happiness and they took the joy away. So I decided to keep the love, but I kept it away from their side because I didn't want them to have all of it. So this is what I've kept. When he passed away, it was as if the only dad I had in the UK was gone. So I just try to keep, all the things that he has given to me. He has taught me a lot, and then these are the physical ones that you can see. The other ones are in my memory. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. This stone gives me hope that my vicar is at home, reigning with his maker. What can be better?
Hi, this is Frank the Third and he's my little frog that I got on a school trip, and he's really cute and I like him because he reminds me of all the memories like that with my friends that I had.
So I brought along a copy of Twinkle from September the 11th, 1976. It's seen better days because looks like, I think it was so deliciously old and full of smells that my dog had a bit of a go at it, which was a bit tragic, but I'd never really kept it in a nice plastic cover or anything. I used to read Twinkle especially for little girls when I was about 4 or 5, and I was in the Twinkle Club, and I wrote to them. They used to ask you to send in all your news and stuff, and because I was a writer, I went and wrote to them all about myself and sent in a little picture, but they didn't publish it. And then when I was in 1976, I was 8, they actually published it. But by then I was 8, so sophisticated, not a little girl anymore. And to make things worse, this is me.
That's amazing.
So to make things worse, all they put, so there's a picture of 4-year-old me when I was 8. And to make things worse, out of my great letter that I wrote, which was very fascinating about where I lived, it said, "Hi Twinkle, Helen Mann is my name. I live in Redcar, Cleveland." Ever so disappointing, but you get used to it as a writer, so yeah, that was my first disappointment.
Right, so we went to Penge to celebrate my uncle's 70th and his son's 30th. So we went to a market in Gillingham and I found this lovely bag for a tenner. I was dead chuffed. Thank you.
Hi, this is an elephant that I got from Thailand, and it reminds me of all of my memories in Thailand and when I got to bathe some elephants.
I brought something very... Yeah, it's a calabash. It has got a big meaning for my tribe and for myself. My dad, every Sunday, he used to take that calabash, fill it half with his palm wine. I don't know if you know palm wine. A bit of banana, something like breakfast. He takes his breakfast at 12, 1 o'clock, which is supposed to be lunchtime, but he calls it breakfast. And fill his palm wine in that calabash and drink it. And our church supposed to start at 12:30, 1 o'clock. So he just asked his wife, my stepmom, to take us to church. And when we turn and say, Dad, are you coming with us? He said, you go, say hello to Jesus, but I'm coming. And I said, you're not coming because you got to finish your palm wine. It's a very, my dad passed away, it's going to be 10 or 11 years ago. And when I went to Africa for his burial, I said, I want the calabash straight away because I see my dad sitting in the living room with his calabash and drinking his palm wine. It brings me a lot of good memories. He said to say hello to Jesus, but today I'm a very big fan of Jesus. And I think that all those things is some kind of gift that my dad gave us. I still remember the love of my dad, and it brings a lot of good memories to me. This is a calabash of life. This is a calabash of my daddy, and I can see daddy's love through that calabash, through the memories of daddy. That's love make me a strong woman today and a beautiful inside.
It is like a smooth stone in my pocket. My iPhone was given to me by my husband. It reminds me of so many things because I use it to take pictures as I go into nature. I use it to look at timetables for when I travel and check the weather, to plan trips too. My iPhone makes me feel connected with people in my hands through voice and...
The postcard smiled at me from the rack in the Rijksmuseum, the Amsterdam sun directing my gaze to 3 girls, someone's daughters, riding donkeys on a foreign beach. But these were my daughters on our beach. The hair colour, the age differences. You even knew the feisty little one would be out ahead. What magic did you dip your brush into, Mr. Isaacs, over a century ago that guided it to paint a picture of my life here in a seaside town in the north of England?
This is a little writing set that was given to my parents as a wedding present in 1939. Shortly after war broke out, Christmas Eve it was. It's got a little well for the ink, and in there would have been the nibs for the pens that they used in those days. It survived 3 bombings. Various houses were bombed 3 times during the Blitz. And after that, after the war ended and we all came along, it sat on our mantelpiece as an ornament. And I eventually inherited it, and it sat on my mantelpiece while my daughter and her siblings were small. And now it sits in my china cabinet. And I dare say one day one of them will claim it.
It's a ring, and it reminds me of a summer when I very adventurously went down to Swanage on the south coast to work in a hotel, and I was supposed to go with a close friend of mine who actually gave back word sort of quite close to the time of going, which was a bit upsetting for me, but I thought, well, I'm just going to go anyway, whatever. So I had this amazing sort of 6 weeks in Swanage, going to loads of beach parties and being generally a sort of wild teenager, then having to get up at 7 a.m. to serve customers bed and breakfast, and you know, like spilling things on them because I was half asleep. Most of them were quite understanding, and they'd go, what time did you come in last night? And I go, well, about 2 o'clock, I think. And so it was really like a happy summer, and we had beach parties and singing on the beach. And when I first got there, in the jeweller's shop, I saw this ring, which has got coral and a little blue stone in the middle. I'm not sure what that one is. And it probably wasn't a lot of money, but for me it seemed a lot of money, and I really wanted it. So I saved money from the money I got every week. And at the very end of my time there, I went into the shop and I bought this ring, which needs a clean. And I don't think it fits my finger anymore. So I thought that's a nice memory of a time, quite a long time ago, and a different part of your life when you're more carefree and having that kind of fun. This ring waited for me in a shop window, waited till summer season was over, till the silver in my purse was enough. Its silver circle is tarnished now, but the memory burns as brightly as those beach party bonfires, sings as strongly as our voices to someone's old guitar. My ring, with its circle of coral and its sky blue heart, holding on to those carefree days, my long ago Swanage summer.
I'm getting married on the 1st of April, a very simple ceremony, but in September we're going up to Scotland where my future husband is from, up in the Outer Hebrides, and we're doing hand fasting, which actually means more to us than everything else. Now, as I'm of Irish descent in Middlesbrough, that means I was brought up Catholic. I no longer am. Religion means nothing to me really anymore, but it still means a lot to my family. So the hand fasting rope I'll be making, we're taking, part of that will be from my other half's dad's kilt. He's no longer with us, so we're taking a strip from his tartan, his clan tartan, to weaving it. And when I was growing up, if you were brought up Catholic, every time someone went to Lourdes or Fatima, you got a medal. And this is one of my grandma's medals that she brought home from Lourdes. It's a tiny little one, just of Our Lady or something, I don't really know what it was. But it's not the religious significance it means, this is what it meant from my grandma. And this was in the family holy box. Yes, we've got one of them with all the cards from when people have died from Ireland and all that type of thing. But in it was this tiny little silver sixpence. I think it's a sixpence. Now, my grandma's mum, my great-grandma, died when my grandma was 13, and they lived over the border. My great-grandma was from Dublin, from the north. My great-granddad was from Waterford in the south, so that was a bit whoop. But they were both Catholic, so it was all right. But the day before my great-grandma died, and when I say they lived in poverty, I mean absolute, they had nothing. They had nothing at all. All she had was this little silver penny, and she gave it to my grandma. And my grandma carried this in a purse until the day she died, and then it went in the family holy box. So my auntie and my mum, they want me to get a little clasp put on that to include into my hand fasting, so my grandma's part of the day. So that's a little part of my heritage and how and when my grandma and my family ended up here, because we're not actually from here, so.
Fantastic. So going back 36 years, I was part of a worship singing group in Middlesbrough Community Church, and we used to meet in the back room to pray before each church service. And one time I noticed there was a big box of these. I said, what's happening with them? Because we're singing all contemporary songs. So they said, oh, they're getting thrown out, we don't use them anymore. And I went, what? I said, what do you mean? They said, oh, what, would you like one? I said, would I like one? I'll have two. I brought it as a memory of my friend. I used to visit her once a week. We just used to sing together. I'd get my hymn book out. She'd have a music copy. She'd then go on the piano. We weren't massive singers, but we'd have a little sing, we'd have a little prayer, we'd have a little scripture, and then we'd just pray for each other. I've got very tender memories of my friend Val. It's one of my favourite ones. All the way my Saviour leads me, what have I to ask beside? Can I doubt his tender mercy, who through life has been my guide? Heavenly peace, divinest comfort, here by faith in him to dwell. For I know whate'er befall me, Jesus doeth all things well. And I was actually with her just before she passed, and just was able to just stroke her head. And I actually spoke some words of that to her, and it's just, that's my friend. That's my friend Val.
My name is Faith. I came from Nigeria. I came for a master's program in digital business. I was born in Lagos. That was in '93, and I was staying with my parents until when I was 7. So things happened then. I don't know what happened really. So I lost both of them, and we were meant to relocate from the commercial city to my mom's village, and that was like the first time we were going to the village. And we were meant to stay in the village for like 6 years. And throughout those periods, it was just like really dark time for me and my sibling. But what really happened was that my uncle, which is on the side of my mom, took us from the village, and then it was like he doesn't want us to stay with anybody. He just wants us to like, to stand on our own. So that was how we did our education and up to university. And then when I got my admission to come to the UK, and then each time I try to like make a retrospect about everything that's happened, I just think about my uncle. He's actually a chief in my village. So, chief usually dressed like this. They wear a hat, a white hat. This is a native dress. And it's not everyone that can use the staff in my village, only the chief. So I don't have the authority for that one. So I didn't bring that one. So each time I get to see this dress in my bag, I just have a picture of my uncle. Fortunately, he's alive and we talk almost every day. And so that's the history of this attire.